So then these can just go right up here, and that will make it go a lot faster from here on out. Alrighty. So now we have... I forgot to grab all the AE2 stuff off. So I've now automated all this. The other things I want to automate are my crystal growth chamber and my charger. Now in order to get those automated, I have to start getting into actual auto crafting. In fact, I'm going to get this all set up with auto crafting too. In order to do that, I first need to expand my ME network so that it's got a controller on it. Basically, my ME network has completely filled up on channels. It's just an ad hoc little guy, so it's not surprising with all the stuff that I've got on it. So what I need to do, energistics, is I need to make, where is it? I always have trouble finding this for some reason. Oh, there we go. ME controller, which is skystone block, which is why I dumped that skystone in the smelter earlier, because it becomes skystone block when you smelt it. Some pure fluix and an engineering processor. So these aren't terrible to make. I'm only going to build... I'm only going to build one right now. And basically this just sits on your network, and I'm just going to put it... This is a terrible place to put it, but I'm just going to put it right... let's just put it right here for now. I'm going to move that because that's an awful spot for it. So what that does is it lets me have a lot more channels. In fact, I can have 32 channels per side. Now I'm going to have to upgrade the cable to get those channels, but the other thing I can do is just bring cable off in a different direction, like off the top, and that'll give me more channels. So that should be good for that. Alright, so then I need to get into also making a crafting CPU. And to make that, I need a lot of stuff. 2 calculation processors, a logistics processor, logic processor, some glass cable, and some iron. And I need 2 of those. Let's clear that out. Now these by themselves don't actually do anything useful. We need to turn one into a crafting coprocessor. This allows us to create recipe jobs and process them. And then I need a storage unit. And I think I've got a 4K cell? No, I don't. Alright, so I'm going to have to make a 4K cell. I will be right back after that's done. Alright, built myself a cell. So if I put this in there with... Oh, I put it in the thing. So put this in there with a crafting unit, and I get a 4K crafting storage. It's actually not a lot, but it's not a lot, but that's going to be enough to get started. So I am just going to get some... This server room is actually going to be too small for my needs. I may have to take out this wall or figure something else out, maybe make it taller, I don't know. But it is a little small for what I need. So what was I doing? Oh yes, ME cable, ME glass. Got tons of it. Good. So I'm just going to put... That's again, another terrible spot for it, but it should work. So I want to put the crafting coprocessor down, we'll put it there. And then right next to it I want to put that. And then it forms into a multi-block. So I now should be able to auto-craft to it. Now, in order to do auto-crafting, though, I'm going to have to make... I need to make an ME pattern terminal, that's right. In order to do that, I need a crafting terminal, which needs a regular terminal, which I think I got all the bits for. Nope. I need to make an illuminated panel. Right, illuminated panel, illuminated panel. Alright, so there we go. So 3 more illuminated panels, there we go. Pattern terminal. So then I can take that. Yes, this is a very, very deeply nested recipe. And then pattern terminal. Now this lets me encode patterns to blank pattern drives. I'm getting all my AE achievements tonight. Alright, so basics of auto crafting is the first starts with a interface, which is this guy here, ME interface. Pretty easy, just an annihilation and a formation core, and the rest is just basic stuff. And I need one of those. In my case, I want it to be just a flat one. Then I need a spot to stick that. Oh, I'm going to have to completely redo everything here, because this is just going to start getting ugly fast. I need glass. So So what I want to do is I need to put that terminal down that I made. I don't know why I put it back in there. So I'm just going to put it up here so that I'm not using a channel, because as I said, this I think is full up on channels, which I'm going to have to deal with here in a second. Why did I put the interface on there? I'll get that in a second. So then, boom. Alright, so then that lets me make my crafting recipes. I will need some blank patterns, which are these guys here. Pretty easy, just quartz glass, glowstone dust, Certus quartz, and iron. Let's just make a couple of those. Alright, so then we come over here to our pattern terminal and put those in there. Good. Now, what I want to do is I want to start with my crystal growth chamber, because my crystal growth chamber will let me automate the creation of the pure Certus, the pure nether, and the pure fluix, as well as the creation of fluix. So if I take my interface here, and I think I'm going to need some glass cable as well. I want to do it on this side. Yes, I'm going to need some more cable. I hope I've got enough channels, but if not, I will deal with that. Device missing channel. I was afraid of that. Alright, so the way I'm going to fix that, and this is the worst way ever to fix that, let's get to, let's just make some dense cable. It's not that hard. ME-dense cable, which is just covered cable, which is just cable and wool. So we just get a bunch of this. Let's get 8 of them, 9 of them, I guess. We'll make some dense cable. All right, so there's one dense cable. There's 2 dense cables. So that should be, yeah, far enough to get us right there. This is a very temporary solution. I'm going to have to rework a lot of this network in the interim. Good. So now I should have a channel. Yep, device online. So now, let's say I want to make pure Certus. Now, pure Certus starts with a Certus crystal. Sorry, a seed, which I do not have, which is fine. That's just Certus dust, which I should have a lot of. Yes, I do. And, oh, I need to actually do this at the crafting terminal because I'm silly. Certus dust and some sand. Oops, some sad. And some sand. So that just makes Certus quartz seeds. So if I take these Certus quartz seeds over to here, what I do is I say 2 Certus quartz, or sorry, I need to go over to processing pattern. I say 2 Certus quartz seeds equal, I think I got some pure Certus in here, equals, yes, equals, no, it just equals 2. Equals 2 pure Certus quartz, and then I encode that. So then if I come over here and put this right there, that says that if it injects these 2 seeds into this chamber, it will create 2 of these. So let's just try that. So if we go, so I put these into there. And if I come over here and look at my recipes, craftable, let's say I want 2 of these next. So then it should try to craft those. Ooh, wrong one. So again, that injected these Certus quartz seeds into there, and these will grow up. But there will be a problem once they grow up, and I'll cut out and be back in when they grow up. Alright, so now the seeds are done. Now, the problem is that if a unit doesn't, or if a machine or a block doesn't auto-eject, when it finishes the job, it's just going to sit there. So now, I have to set this thing up so that once this is done, it gets pulled out. It's easy enough to do. Just going to get some fluix quartz here. Oh, actually, I need to do the other part first. What I need is an ME import bus. I don't think I've got any spare ones of those, but I got everything to make it. So take our import bus over here, slap it on the side, and boom. So then it grabs those crystals and brings them into our ME system. So that's basically auto crafting. You get these interfaces, you put recipes into them, they interface with something, and it produces whatever you've asked it to. And then import buses in cases where there's no auto eject, pulls it back into the ME system. And you can do that for pretty much anything. In this case, to automate all of these, I would have needed several interfaces and several import buses. But by doing it into this chest here, I can just put one interface and one import bus on this chest, and what will happen is that it will inject things into the chest will farm it all out to here, and then it will pull stuff back in. Alright, so let's get started on the moon stuff. There's not much left to do, so that should be good. So the plate should be done, and let's just grab all this here, except for moon. So just grab all those so that I can remember what I'm doing. So as we see, my heavy plates are over here, so that will be what I need to make the rocket. Alright, so the other things I need to do is make an oxygen storage module, because I wanted to make sure that I've got a buffer for oxygen storage while I'm up on the moon, just in case anything should happen. So, an oxygen storage module, detector sealer, where's the storage? There it is pretty easy. It's just 3 of those heavy oxygen tanks from last time and some compressed steel, which I've got all of that. So there, oxygen storage module. That'll be going with me to the moon. Done. Oh, a resonant energy cell. Now this I need to actually go back over to the factory. Alright, resonant energy cell is kind of a strange creature in the land of thermal expansion, because unlike everything else in thermal expansion, it only has one, I don't know what you would call iterative recipe to it, and that's it. It starts with the redstone energy cell and then goes to the resonant. Normally you have to build the first one to get to the second tier, to get to the third tier, to get to the fourth tier. In this case, you can build the third tier just right off the bat, and then you start with a redstone energy cell frame, which is hardened glass, electrum, and a diamond. I should have all that. And then you need to fill that with redstone, and I can't remember how much. It is 4,000 millibuckets, so that's 40. So let's just grab, there we go, and those 2 back in. Alright, so we basically just come over here, throw the 40 redstone in the magma crucible, which will just chew through them. And this guy goes in here, and once this fills up to 40, or 4,000, it'll fill that guy up, and then we can get to the next step. So I will stand here and watch this, and cut back in once it's done. Alright, so I'm almost filled up, and there we go. So now we got a resonant energy cell frame full. Take this guy back, we need to make a resonant energy cell out of it. Or, sorry, a redstone energy cell. Redstone energy? Redstone, yeah. Redstone energy. And that's more electrum, one of these redstone conductance coils, and some lead. I think I've got all that. Nope, I need the conductance coil, I guess. That's fine. Boom. And got our redstone energy cell. Now to turn that into a resonant energy cell is pretty easy. Just plop that guy in there with some derium, which I have a small stack of yet. There we go. So now I've got my resonant energy cell. And I'm just going to hook that up to my power network and get it filled up. The reason I want this is for 2 reasons. One, I'll just put it right here. Good. One is that I want a buffer, and 2, I want energy without... I want to have some energy waiting for me when I get up there. I don't want to have to necessarily set everything up right away, but if I need energy to power like any of the oxygen stuff, I want to have some kind of as an emergency just ready to go. So this will provide that for me relatively easily. So then I can get that out of my inventory. Good.